Hello my dear Sun, Moon and Rising sign Cancers. I am Michaela. Welcome to my astrology channel Todayenergy. And this video is a monthly forecast, astrological forecast for you for June. And June promises to be a way calmer month than the two previous ones when we were experiencing the so-called eclipse season. So that was a interesting roller coaster time for many of us, and now of course it's a great time to calm down, to integrate those changes and emotions that were provoked within us this last spring. So the sky, the universe, gives us a little bit of a break and time to internalize all of this, because in June we will have 3 retrograde planets moving on the sky. And of course this is important because when a planet starts retrograding, the attention is drawn towards the significations of this planet. But let's start from the very beginning. At the beginning of the month, we do feel the fiery, almost explosive conjunction of Mars and Jupiter in Aries, which was though squared by the black moon Lilith in your sign in Cancer. So what does it mean? Well, Mars and Jupiter together in Aries, that talks about some kind of action, and in your case it's related to work, to career, to your public reputation, possibly to your parents. So something very actively you were doing or was going on in these areas. But Lilith is the great provocative force. Lilith talks about unclear data, unclear information, about gossips, about over-exaggerations. And being in Cancer, now Lilith will transit Cancer for 9 months, so be prepared, because in Cancer Lilith might give distorted emotions. People might feel oversensitive, being offended too easily, overreact emotionally. So in this case it might be, dear Cancers, you who is a bit overreacting to certain situations, even though you have the great chance to be super successful in your career, big shift in your status. Maybe some of you is engaged, married, but maybe also there is divorce, because Lilith talks from your first house. And just my advice is here, don't pay attention to your fears, to something that seems something to you, but actually it might not be true. So always double check information, ask people what they mean before bursting in anger or tears or holding grudges, or react emotionally, because it might be just like Shakespeare said, much ado about nothing at the end of the day, or as we say in my language, a storm in a glass of water. On the 3rd, Mercury stations to go retrograde in Taurus. That's your 11th house, and Mercury rules your 12th and 3rd houses. What does this mean? Basically, when Mercury stations to change the direction of its movement, again, the focus is on this planet, but we might feel quite confused mentally, and there might be verbal misunderstandings. In this case, even, we're talking about the area of your friendships. We're talking about communication, information, documents, knowledge, and kind of messages from abroad, from foreign lands, or from your own past and your subconsciousness. So really, those, I would say, give it 3 days, 2nd, 3rd and 4th of June. They are not a good time to sign contracts, deal with documents, travel, arrange travels, go to an exam, open social media or be very active in social medias and discuss important topics with your friends or with like-minded people in your group projects. But good news is that Mercury goes direct. So after the 4th, all these areas of your life will go way better, including your own intuition will work way better. And you can check still on my channel, there is the video about retrograde Mercury this time. So for kind of more insights about this period, because Mercury will leave its shadow, retrograde shadow zone, already on the 18th of June. On the 5th of June, Saturn stations to go retrograde at 25 degrees of Aquarius, and that's your 8th house. Saturn rules your 7th and 8th houses. Now, Saturn is a slower planet, so we feel its stationing as if the planet stops before turning its direction. We feel it the whole first half of June, I would say, if not even as well at the end of May. And in the public space, Saturnian topics will be all around us. That is, elderly people, older people, pensions, government, politicians, businessmen, structures, organizations, prohibitions, borders, laws, restrictions, responsibilities. Of course, the personal focus will be about similar topics, but in your chart, we're talking about relationships and like private and business partners, as well as your passive incomes and your own psychology. Okay, so those topics, you have to focus on them at the beginning of June. Saturn usually wants a very serious attitude, and in this case towards your partnerships, relationships, intimate relationships, passive incomes, what you owe people, what you owe, let's say, the banks, the institutions, taxes. Government might knock at your door and ask you for, paying back, or people from whom you borrowed some money. We might be very conscious about with whom we connect our life. Can we trust these partners? Is it a serious relationship? Because Saturn doesn't want anything superficial. Saturn wants commitment and long-lasting things. So Saturn is capable even to cut and end things that are not real, that are not solid. So think about this in your life, about your relationships, but at the same time, think of your own boundaries, because Saturn wants you to be responsible for yourself. In this case, probably in the first week of June, maybe your partners need to pay more attention on their own life. Maybe they will be put in front of some life choices, serious decisions. So in this case, you have to kind of pay attention to your own life, right? And put boundaries. Don't allow people to interfere with your private life, to tell you what to do, to mess with your privacy, right? So it's important to have personal, clear boundaries. And now the focus will be on this while Saturn stations, but then he will be retrograde for 4 months and a half. So you will have this 4-month time to go back and restructure, rethink, reassess your relationships and your finances, your sources of passive income, on whom you can rely, whom you can trust in this life, okay? And then you will receive your deserved, tangible, solid results. You will be rewarded by Saturn for all your efforts and hard work in these topics after the 22nd of October, when Saturn goes back again direct. Also, in this time, talking about psychology, Saturn will ask you, or force you even, to deal with your subconscious, with your traumas, with your fears, with your self-doubts, because Saturn is the planet of sometimes of a low, modest self-esteem. But in this case, you have to be strong, and you have to find your own value within your relationships, and not being afraid that your partner might leave someday and then you stay, let's say, without money or without property. So it's about personal responsibility for yourself. On the 12th, Venus, who rules your 4th and 11th house, conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. This is your 11th house. So on this day you can expect some surprises from your friends, family members. There might be a need to cut off some friendship if it wasn't give you enough space, enough pleasure, enough freedom, if it wasn't enough authentic for you. But at the same time, you might meet new friends, new like-minded people, especially if you subscribe to some courses online, groups online, or your interests are about technology, IT, or even astrology. You will find your tribe, maybe even space and aviation. Venus represents love and money, so you might find love amongst your friends or online, and you might benefit from activities financially that are in internet or group projects. Mercury goes back into Gemini again. Mercury moves already direct, so he was in Gemini, he went back to Taurus, now he returns back to his home in Gemini, very happy. He will be there till 5th of July, and that's your 12th house. So you will have a lot of internal monologues, a lot of retrospection, digging into your past, digging into your psyche. Great for work with psychologists, great for spending time in the nature or meditating, paying attention to your dreams, because you might receive important information from your subconscious through your dreams or in your prayers or while meditating. There might be also news from faraway lands, from abroad. On the 14th, we have a full moon at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. So that's your 6th house. There might be some results from your work projects, maybe culmination of job, hopefully rewards, and you can celebrate the ending of some work. This full moon might give you clarity about your health situation, some news you might get from your employees or colleagues at work. But at the same time, this full moon is squared by Neptune from your 9th house. So Neptune might introduce a bit more emotions and confusion. So perhaps you should not immediately trust all the results you get if you make some health examination, or maybe you should advise some doctors from abroad or from some foreign land or culture. Also, maybe you'll have to deal with some health issues, or you will have to repair something related to water, like pipes, for example. And if we talk about health again, there might be beneficial some liquid intake, liquid diets, or doing some water sports or spending time in nature near water. On the 21st, the sun goes into Cancer. So we start celebrating your birthdays. Happy birthday, dear Cancer. I wish you to be healthy, to be strong, to be happy and very much loved. And the whole month, while sun transits your sign and while you are having birthdays, it's your first house if we are talking about Cancer rising sign. So that brings the attention towards you. That brings you good health, good motivation, strong ambitions. You know, the sun is the life force, is the leader, is the king of the universe. So you will be this very charismatic ruler, king, leader, like shining like a little sun among your friends and your immediate environment, of course, and you will have a lot of power to achieve everything you want, and especially that brings really good health and good relationships. On the same day, Venus trines Pluto involving your 11th and 7th houses. So it's a great day to spend with friends, with community, with your partner, to communicate, to negotiate, to strike deals, sign contracts, because you will be very convincing, very influential, powerful. So you will lead your friends and you will have a good time with them or with your partner. On the 23rd, Venus goes into Gemini. That's again your 12th house. Venus will be there till the 18th of July. And again, 12th house is the most hidden area. It's about your subconscious. It's about being on your own, meditate, walk in nature, relax. So Venus here brings a lot of joy from these activities. You might join a yoga club with other women, yeah, because Venus symbolizes women. So you might receive good pleasure from this, or just pamper yourself, spoil yourself with a massage, with stretching, with taking care of your mind, body, and soul. Also, you might meet some nice people from faraway lands, or you can make money from a remote job. On the 28th, Neptune stations to go retrograde in your 9th house in Pisces. So we do feel Neptunian topics around us about 2 weeks, week before and week after the 28th of June. And we're talking about news related to medicine, pharmacy, doctors, oceans, water, environment, biology, gas, petrol, this like liquid fuels. Media scandals are possible. Something about Hollywood, actors, spiritual people, but in your case it's in 9th house. So on one hand, be careful not to put rose-colored glasses about studies, religion, teachers, because you might fall for a sect or false guru or false teacher just by being mesmerized by their language or charm. But on the other hand, 9th house is about faith, about religion, so you might rediscover your faith. It's about popularity, so mind your reputation. Be careful, because 9th house is how other people see us and what they respect us for. And 9th house is of course about traveling, so you might plan some trip to some very far away land or exotic country, or meet people from there. On the 29th, we have a new moon at 7 degrees of your sign, which means a great chance for new beginnings, for writing down your wishes, meditation, visualization, manifesting your desires. But I have to warn you, precisely this new moon is conjunct Lilith. So again, don't pay attention to your internal fears, self-doubt. If your internal voice is telling you, I cannot trust these people, they betray me, I'm jealous, I'm anxious, this is the black moon Lilith, which is like a little demon inside of us, and it's important not to feed it, like this old saying about, that's old saying of the Indian people, North American Indians, that we have two wolves inside of us, a white wolf and a black wolf. And the white wolf is the trust, hope, faith, honesty, decency, believing that everything is possible. That's Neptune is in your 9th house. Dream big, believe in yourself, really. Trust the universal guidance. But the black wolf is doubtful, is the jealousy, is the kind of fear that if others succeed that you will not succeed, or something like that. So don't feed this Lilith, this black wolf. Besides, this new moon is squared by Jupiter in Aries in your 10th house. Jupiter can give you so much success, popularity. You might become famous, you might become a leader, you might become a manager, owner of a company, you might get engaged, so that's good news. But on the other hand, if there is a drama, then Jupiter will make it huge drama. So be careful. If we have fireworks at the end of June, I wish them for you to be fireworks based on self-trust and happiness, and not because there is so much emotions that it's like flooding you of emotions. Okay, dear Cancer, so thank you very much for watching, liking and sharing my videos. I wish you a beautiful month, beautiful birthdays for the June born Cancers, and I'll see you with the next video. Bye.